Welcome into Rockets Today, everybody. I'm your host, Jeremy Chuggs, and we are here. The final day of the regular season of the NBA. Not a lot to play for your Houston Rockets. They've already locked up the 5 seed, but on today's show, the Rockets are getting absolutely disrespected by the NBA. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you what's going on in this final day of NBA regular season action and why the Rockets should have a chip on their shoulder going into round one. Because out of every team that's not in the play-in in the Western Conference, I think the Rockets are the most slept-on team, and it's not even close. Before we get going, make sure to hit that sub button. We had a great watch party, even though obviously it didn't end up how we wanted it to, up against the Timberwolves on Friday. We got to 1,000 subscribers. Appreciate all y'all for tuning in. Thank you to everybody for the support so far. If you haven't already, if you're a Houston Rockets fan, go down and hit that subscribe button. It would help me out a ton. This is the newest NBA channel here at Chat Sports, the 9th NBA channel. So I am really pumped. I'm ready for the playoffs, and I'm excited for the Rockets to prove everybody wrong. Because on today's show, basically every single team in the West is looking down on the Houston Rockets. We have NFL guys like Emmanuel Acho saying, should the Lakers, should they, possibly try to lose their last game on purpose so they can face the Rockets? We have the Nuggets sitting out all their starters except for Nikola Jokic, which I think they're doing that more so he can win awards to get that, 65 game minimum. But the Nuggets are not trying to win to keep that 3 seed. And the Lakers and Nuggets are both possibly trying to tank the last game to face the Houston Rockets instead of the Minnesota Timberwolves. And, it could be because of, the Rockets. It could be this, that, or the other. But at the end of the day, I actually think it's pretty short-sighted and dumb for Lakers fans and Nuggets fans to say they want the Rockets in round one, right? Because regardless of, how you think it's going to play out in round one, if you're expecting to win, if you play the Rockets in round one and say, you think that they're going to sweep them, you have to go and play probably more than likely the Thunder in round two. And I would say that's a much tougher task than the San Antonio Spurs, where if you made the 3 seed. Just my opinion. But regardless, the Nuggets, they're sitting out everybody. They don't care about clinching the number 3 seed. The Lakers are possibly looking at, how much does this game mean to us, right? So when you look at those teams and when you look at the landscape of the NBA, it is clear that nobody is afraid of the Rockets. And, they had a really nice winning streak coming in to Friday's game up against the Timberwolves. And obviously they kind of let that one go on the wayside, even with the Timberwolves sitting Rudy Gobert, Julius Randle, Naz Reid. Obviously they still had Anthony Edwards, and they ended up winning that game. It was a poor defensive effort from the Houston Rockets. Either way, I don't think the Rockets are a pushover team in this Western Conference, or that much worse than the Minnesota Timberwolves, to where if I'm a team, I'm like, oh, thank God we're playing the Rockets in round one. It should not be that. But from a lot of accounts, it looks like the Nuggets and the Lakers have that line of thinking. The Nuggets and Lakers, I think, are actually more afraid of the Minnesota Timberwolves than they are of the Houston Rockets. The Nuggets play the Spurs later on tonight. The Spurs actually also sitting out Victor Wembanyama, so it might be a very interesting matchup between those two teams with starters sitting out on both sides. Will the Nuggets, reserve players win them the game? And then you have on the other side the Lakers. They're playing the Jazz, so more than likely the Lakers, the Jazz they're horrendous this year. So the Lakers can easily win this game if they wanted to, right? So this will kind of prove to us whether or not, the Lakers care about playing the Rockets or, want to go up and play the Minnesota Timberwolves. Either way, if I am the Houston Rockets and I see the Lakers losing on purpose to stay in the 4 seed because remember, the Lakers, they have the tiebreaker over the Nuggets. So if they finish with the same record, the Lakers will get the 3 seed, the Nuggets get the 4 seed. And I personally think the Rockets match up better against the Los Angeles Lakers. That's just me. But if I'm Ime Udoka, if I'm the Houston Rockets right now, I'm showing all these tweets to Thompson, Kevin Durant, even though maybe Kevin Durant shouldn't be on X. With all the stuff he had going on. Either way, I'm showing this to Alperen Sengun. I'm showing this to my team and saying, look at this. Everybody is laughing at you. Everybody thinks that you're the joke of the playoffs in round 1, besides the play-in teams. Everybody says that you're an easy out, and everybody would rather play you than the Minnesota Timberwolves. Take that, internalize that, and play with the chip on your shoulder in round 1. Thompson had a fantastic game on Friday, had a career-high 41 points, was wasted on a horrible defensive effort where they let Terrence Shannon Jr. absolutely shred this team, and the Rockets couldn't hit a 3 to save their life in that game. But maybe this is a good thing for the Rockets because you go back to their last loss up against the Timberwolves, that overtime loss where they had a 13-point lead and they let it slip in overtime. That kind of spurred something, right? They had, players only meeting. They had meetings within, the locker room, and they went on a nice little winning streak. They beat some good teams. And it's not like they had some pushover teams. They beat the Suns whenever the Suns, were trying to beat them. Obviously, the Suns, Jalen Green had a lot to play for in that game. They beat the New York Knicks with Jalen Brunson and, that team, one of the top 4 teams in the East, and they handled them, pretty well. They that entire game had the Knicks, at least, right where they wanted them. And they had their winning ways throughout that, 6 or 7 game stretch. So I think the Houston Rockets, they need to look at this as an opportunity to prove everybody wrong, go out there in round 1, whether it's the Lakers, whether it's the Nuggets, and say, hey, we know that y'all wanted to play us. And, going back to, Michael Jordan in the documentary, I took that personally. The Rockets should take it personally, and they should go out there and play with their hair on fire up against whoever matches up against them in round 1 of the NBA playoffs. And whoever it is, I'm going to be bringing you a preview tomorrow, whether it's the Lakers, whether it's the Nuggets, my keys to victory in the series. So make sure to hit that subscribe button. Make sure to turn on your notifications because we're going live for all of the playoff games here on Rockets Today. You don't want to miss out, and hopefully we go live for a lot of playoff games in this NBA playoffs because maybe it's the biased Houston fan in me, maybe it's the optimist, but I still think the Rockets can make some noise, possibly make the Western Conference Finals if they play up to their potential. If, Tari Eason, Reed Shepherd keep it up, Jabari Smith Jr., if he, gets hot from 3 and can continue his defense. I think this Rockets team, a lot of people are looking down on them. A lot of people think that they're an easy out in round 1. I want them to go out there and prove them all wrong. All right, that's all I have for you on this show. Make sure to hit that sub button. And if you want to ask me any questions, if you have any comments, concerns, you can always hit me up on social media at Jeremy Chuggs on X, Instagram, and TikTok. My DMs are always open, so hit me up. And as always, let's go Rockets. I'll be back tomorrow with a first round preview.